Hey. Okay.
Oh, there we are.
There we are again.
There we are again. We're still learning to navigate this new stream platform. Go ahead, D.
What's up? Welcome to the God Squad on this, the day of our Lord, June 18th, 2026. Of course, there is no shortage of fuckery going on in this world, and specifically these United States of America. So let's get into breaking news and broken theology right now. So we got this war that's still going on. We got this, I don't know, do we call it a deal? I don't know what we call this. I think we call it a surrender. I think we call it a white flag. I think we call it a white sheet. I think we call it, I don't know what we call it. What do you call this thing that basically puts us behind where we were with the other deal that Trump ripped up, whereby the strait is going to be open, but they probably can do tolls. They get $300 billion. They get sanctions removed, and they promise not to do a nuclear weapon, sort of, kind of. But there's no way to verify that, or no, the checks and balances that existed in the previous deal don't exist in this 1.5-page memorandum of understanding. That's not really a deal. It's just like this is the concept of a deal that we are thinking about doing, and if we do it, then this is what might be in it if we do it. Memorandum. What you think?
Well, I don't know if y'all have ever seen a show called Letterkenny. It's on Hulu. It's set in Canada, and there's a hockey coach, and one of the lines that he says over and over again is, "It's fucking embarrassing." And that's what I feel about this week in the United States of America. Fucking embarrassing. And the troll level from Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, is off the charts. He had that jackass sign that at Versailles, where the Germans had to sign the unconditional surrender document after World War One. And I'm sure that was lost on Mango Mussolini because he's dumber than a box of hammers. And you know the story of King Midas, where everything King Midas touched turned to gold, and that ended up biting him in the ass. But Trump is like the anti-Midas. Everything that man touches turns to shit. Just
literally.
I mean, he bankrupted multiple casinos. And the house always wins in casinos. You have to be a special kind of stupid to bankrupt a casino. But all of this stuff, the only thing they got done was getting the Strait of Hormuz, which was open before the illegal war started and before the war crimes started and before the slaughter of 175 children and teachers started.
Mm-hmm.
That was open.
Yes.
And that's the only thing that might be happening here. And did you hear what Trump said? He goes, well, we're going to call this Vance's deal because if it blows up, then it'll look bad for him. But if it goes great, it'll look great for me. I think that's a good idea.
Sometimes he says the crazy ass thoughts out loud, and that was one of those times where he did that.
Yeah, but every once in a while he just tells the truth because the filter just fucking shuts off or whatever.
If not Vance, though, one time he slipped up and blamed it on Hexit.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least that first strike that had killed the
students. Yeah. Well, that doesn't. I mean, there's not a person in his orbit that he's not ready to throw under the bus.
No.
If it protects him.
Everybody is fair game.
Everybody's fair game, and that's one of those things that I just don't get that people don't understand.
And they don't.
This man is such a malignant narcissist. He doesn't care who he hurts or who he throws under the bus, so long as he can feel good about himself and think that he's making himself look good. And the whole world is laughing at him right now. And apparently the Republicans are losing their mind, saying that this is the worst foreign policy blunder in decades. Yeah. elect a clown, get a fucking circus.
Yes, pretty much. And have you seen another thing? Another mess up that he's done. Okay, so we spent, quick pivot. We spent $14 million painting the reflection pool.
14 million. Who did they hire to do this?
It wasn't even put out for bid. It was one of his guys.
Of course
I know a guy.
I mean, $14 million. You could do a lot of things with $14 million. You could do a lot more things than just repaint the bottom of a reflecting pool just to turn it into a eutrophication fucking station, which is where all the biological oxygen demand is taken up out of the water and algal blooms happen.
Yes. Hey, Matt. Matt is on with us today. Yes, I saw that. Not only is the algae blooms happening, which is they made it worse by making the pool darker, which heated up the water, which made it worse. Yep. And not only that, it's the paint is chipping off. People are taking pieces of it because it's chipping off.
Because they poured a bunch of hydrogen peroxide on it.
So it's coming off.
So it's coming off because of a chemical reaction, apparently. Again, everything this man touches turns to shit. I mean, he is the anti-Midas president.
Anti-Midas.
I like there are still people running around this world that think this man is a genius. And I think that needs to be studied. I think it really definitely needs to be studied. Because and we're probably going to get into this with one of our guests in a few weeks. An expert, the knitting cult lady, is going to come on to the show in a couple of weeks, and we're going to probably talk a lot about this nonsense. Yeah, the war, the illegal war into Iran cost $132 billion, according to reporting from Heather Cox Richardson. And I just, we don't have money for health care, or school lunches for children, or infrastructure that's not falling apart, or high-speed rail, or any number of other things that would make life more equitable, more sustainable, more just, more good. But we've got $132 billion to just flush down the toilet in about 6 months, only to lose the war run by the Department of War and the Secretary of War, who is now 0 for 1 at Pete Hegseth. Somebody please help me to make it make sense. Help me, please, because I can't get there. I can't make the math add up. It don't make no fucking sense. $132 billion. And when did this shit start?
I think we're in what? We're 3 months into this now. How long are we in this? 3 or 4 months into this now.
So
we started in February. When did this start? I'm going to look that up so we know.
So like $30 to $40 billion a month just flushed down the toilet. Oh, okay. So
February 28th. That's when this
February
started.
28th to March, April, May, June, 3.5 months.
Yep.
Just so
billions of dollars in. Billions of dollars into the bullshit is where we're at. We're billions of dollars into the bullshit is where we are.
Yeah. And then how much money was spent on that ridiculous spectacle on the White House lawn? And did you know that he was paying the fighters in his own Trump crypto?
No, I hope they get that money.
I mean, if they see a penny of that non-money, it'll be a miracle. But it's just a grift over and over and over again. Dana White apparently, donated a bunch of money to Trump's campaign or some kind of thing, and they're all in cahoots with each other. And it was like Idiocracy 2, which is not supposed to be a documentary.
I'm old enough to remember when every other thing the Obamas did wasn't an affront, was disrespectful to the office, was
Right.
um,
The
not,
tan suit,
yeah, that part.
which
The even Michelle with the wanting to make school lunches and things healthier, but
right,
when she did it, it was like that can't tell us what to do. They're trying to government overreach. But then you get Maha,
right,
supposed to make America healthier again or whatever the fuck, which is simultaneously promoting making America healthy again, but behind the scenes doing things to make America more unhealthy and putting Americans in danger. Um, the policies don't match the propaganda. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And so
right.
I remember that. Remember when she had the move, was it Get Just Move or something? Let's Move campaign and talking about, it was just, or when Obama didn't wear a suit in the, or not Obama, him too, but
Zelensky.
Zelensky didn't wear a suit, and they were like how he was being disrespectful. He wasn't dressed for the occasion. Then you had these fools in the Oval Office and everywhere around the White House in like leotards and shit for the UFC thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think about all the bullshit and all the flack and all the backlash that the Obamas got for every little fucking thing, like every little nitpicky thing. And then you look at this shit.
Right.
Look at the state that the White House is in. Half of it is torn down.
Illegally.
You're holding a brutal fight, and I'm not there. I don't have anything against UFC. Sometimes it's fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? It's very exciting. I don't have. If you're doing an honest trade and you're training and I don't have anything against UFC. Okay, but the fact that you're doing that on the White House lawn,
right,
and the fact that we're paying for that shit. I don't care what they're talking about. That was a taxpayer-funded event.
And it was a gift to the American people.
Yeah, but all the American people couldn't attend.
You had to have a subscription to Paramount Plus to be able to watch it. And guess who runs Paramount Plus? Barry Weiss and CBS. And also,
is that also part of the Ellis folks?
I don't. Yeah, probably. Did you know that Eric Trump texted or sent a DM to one of the fighters and was like, which one of these fights is rigged? And the guy's like, what the fuck are you asking me about rigged fights for? He goes, well, I just want to know if
what are you betting on? He's like, I can't.
Well, yeah, what do you? Yeah, he's like, because he expected it to be rigged. Of course, it's expected to be rigged. Everything these people fucking do is not above board.
The fact that he would send that, and then that they're blessed by us being in a news cycle that is chock full of shit every day. That something like that goes. It's just like a little blip on the radar and then goes away. If we were in a normal news cycle, that would have blown up and been an expose. Because they tried to, I was hacked. Oh, that was fake. That was.
Yeah, it was just another example of grifters trying to grift and corruption.
Insider trading, the millionaire games that they're playing. Not only with the stock market, not only with the betting and stuff, but the stock market.
Yeah, the prediction markets and all that stuff. Remember the poly market that they were predicting certain things were going to happen in Venezuela and all that stuff? They were betting on human beings losing their lives because of fascist kleptocrats running amok in Washington, D.C. These things should not be, they shouldn't be a thing. These prediction markets and shit, that should just not be anything remotely.
Claire said the UFC state of mind says that's right, because he had not many months ago he was having the Teslas on the White House lawn.
That's right, yeah.
And I think remember that he was selling Teslas on the White House lawn. I cannot. There's so much. There's just so much. It's hard to keep up with all of the corruption. There's so much. There's the insider trading on the Nvidia deal, the Dell computers, there's the giving your own son government contracts.
Hundreds of billions of dollars worth of drone contracts. And what are those drones used for? It's ridiculous. Historians of this period in American history are going to be fucking overwhelmed. They're never going to be able to leave the Library of Congress or the archives of wherever they're at because it's just so damn much over and over and over again
like a
every
water
day.
hose of, I don't know, fuckery. I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah.
And it's so much every day. My thoughts are there's so much that is hitting the news and hitting the media. How much is not?
Yeah, exactly. How much do we not know about? I mean, did you see the man at the G7 thing? He was literally describing the insider trading. He was like, we started talking about peace. The stock market went way up, and then it went down. And he goes, and the stock market's smarter than anybody than just about anybody but me. And then he looks at somebody and goes, the stock market's smarter than you, isn't it, Scott, or whoever, whatever sycophant standing next to him. And he goes, but not smarter than me. I mean, he's telling the whole fucking world that he's manipulating the markets while he's killing people. Because again, the filter came out and he just started telling the truth. And I'm sure that people would I'm sure behind the scenes people were losing their fucking minds over that.
I want to address this comment because it's true. Yes. Doa says that there's so much corruption that my son believes it can't possibly be true and therefore it's fake news. A lot of people feel like that, but it's so let me read this. Matt says, isn't that the point though? Didn't Bannon basically suggest that overwhelm everyone?
Oh yeah.
And to both of those, those two comments complement each other because yes, the point is being made. Yes, Bannon said that, and yes, it's working. If we're going by Doa Deer's comment about her son, it's working. And her son is not the only one. They're like, oh, they just have Trump derangement syndrome.
Right. Yeah.
It can't possibly be true. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see that. What
oh yeah.
Did that happen?
She was like, nope.
Trump leaned in and kissed Macron's wife. Oh my god.
Yeah, the French thing, and she was like, "Oh fuck no," and she's like, "No, don't miss me with that garbage."
No, I don't want that. I don't keep that over there.
No. Yeah.
I didn't see that. Well, I'm tell you what I did see is whenever they did the G7 photo, and after I guess the photo shoot was done, and everybody was talking to better, and nobody was talking to Trump, and he looked like the lonely kid at the lunch table. He's just standing there, and then he gave like a thumbs up to the reporters, and then walked off by himself. So pathetic. Oh
and did you see when he walked in, and then he stopped and goes, "I'm the boss," and then turns around and walks like
the boss of who?
Nobody at this event thinks that you're the boss of anything. Everybody thinks you're an idiot. And I can't imagine what the narcissistic injury he's going through right now. And I love that for him. Not that I'm not a compassionate person, but I got compassion fatigue because of all of the things that people like him are doing to hurt other people.
Yes.
And because of things like what happened in Mississippi this week, which as I have seen so many times over the years, if you think you see somebody stealing diapers or stealing food, no, you didn't. And somebody called the police on a black woman for stealing diapers that she had a receipt for.
Did she? I didn't see that part.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She had a receipt for it. And now her child is dead because some cop decided to open fire and kill a 1-year-old child.
And you don't know who's in the car. So why would you open fire on the car? And for diapers? For
petty theft is not a fucking capital offense. I guess, unless you're in racist-ass Mississippi. And they put that cop on paid leave. They need to put that motherfucker on trial. Because, no. So I have compassion for those folks. The people who are losing their lives or their family members' lives or their livelihoods or whatever because of this kakistocracy of fascist fuckwits and the police state of white supremacy and all of that. I don't have any compassion for the Trump regime and its members, and I'm sorry. I just don't. But And a small piece of good news before we move on. Y'all remember Dusty Devers, the Christo-fascist Christian nationalist state senator from Oklahoma, Southern Baptist pastor and all that stuff? Well, he liked to brag that every time sites like Right Wing Watch reported on his right-wing fascist fundamentalist fuckwittery that he got a boost in popularity and stuff, and he posted about it over and over and over again on social media every time it happened. Well, he was up for re-election, and he finished dead last in his re-election campaign. Now they're probably going to elect another Republican because it is Oklahoma or Joklahoma, if you're from Texas like I am. Y'all know why Texas doesn't slide into the Gulf of Mexico? Because Oklahoma sucks. Anyway, moving on. Dusty Devers is going to be out of a job. That MAGA lunatic. So there's a little bit of good news there. A little bit of good news.
Also, the Trump pick in the race for governor. Is it governor in Georgia lost? The Trump pick did.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So the guy who did win, I can't remember his name right now, he's going up against Keisha Lance Bottoms, and I don't believe he's going to win. I hope that she wipes the floor with his ass.
Oh, I hope so too.
I hope they turn out in Georgia like never before, and Trump has got to call again and see can they find 11,000 votes.
Yeah, right. 11,240 votes. Now, did y'all see the reporting from Wired that there was a Swiss hacker group hacked into Peter Thiel's super secret elite society called Dialogue, spelled funny, DIALOG, and outed 200 and plus people, including politicians, actors, and military people that are part of the Peter Thiel inner sanctum, and they were going to have things like how to build a cult, and how's your sex life, and money, can it actually buy happiness, and how to survive World War III, and all kinds of crazy shit. And so thank you to the Swiss hackers that are bringing that to our attention, because if Peter Thiel's got his hands on it, you know it's not good. This is a man who says that he doesn't think that democracy is compatible with the things that he wants to do. No screaming eagle shit, Peter. And that's why that Nazi fucker buggered off to Argentina not so long ago. So yeah, that also happened just a couple days ago. And it just makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes that we don't even know about. These techno-fascist oligarchs pulling strings and doing things. More good news. The Earth's first trillionaire is no longer a trillionaire because SpaceX lost 6 million. It lost like 20% of market cap in 2 days.
Really?
Yeah. So it was some exorbitant amount of money that was lost. But the way they finagle the financial system, that they borrow against their stock earnings and all that stuff, so it's not taxable. And I think it was Kassim Rashid who's like, if it's so fake that it can't be taxed, then it shouldn't be able to be fucking spent either. Which, fair point. But apparently Elon lost his status as the world's first trillionaire, which the idea of even one trillionaire is a moral failure in a world where billions of people go hungry every day and untold numbers of people don't have clean water to drink and whatnot. So yeah, a little bit of good news there. What else we got, D?
In the news wise, not too much. I was very excited, proud, just in awe and admiration of the opening of the Obama Presidential Center today.
Yeah. Did you see Colbert wore a tan suit?
I didn't see that, but I love the trolling. I'm gonna have to go back and find the clip from that.
Yeah, he wore a tan suit, looked just like Obama. It's fucking next level.
I
That dude
love
is so
that. I
smart
love
and
that.
so good.
Um, they had I believe all the living presidents and first ladies there, with the exception of Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
Um, they had so many people. There was so many celebrities, so many just honorable folks there. On the lineup wise, they had Stevie Wonder, they had John Legend, they had Common, they had Jennifer Hudson, they had U2, they had Bruce Springsteen, they had The Roots. They had so many. It was a beautiful. It was just a beautiful thing. Michelle Obama gave up just a, a really. I don't have the words for it. She gave Barack Obama his flowers, and I'm so glad that she took out the time to do that. She said he wouldn't. That's nothing that he would do for himself, and he cried through the thing. It was so sweet. I think if I had to say something that I miss the most from the Obamas to what we have now, and even through, I would say, even through the Biden era. I don't have, too much negative to say about Biden. They did make some missteps. I'm not sure if they made any more missteps in any of their administration. The Obama administration was not perfect, yet it was scandal free. I'm sure that every president wishes they could do something different. As a matter of fact, Obama was in an interview and he said, "I felt like I was making a mistake a day." He's so humble that he would say that.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask Trump that same question, he would swear everything is perfect. He would give himself an A plus 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 plus.
Well, he's never had to repent of anything. Never had to repent. I don't even think about that.
Yeah, so of course he doesn't do anything wrong. He doesn't make any kind of mistakes. But her speech was just, it touched my heart. But if I had to say one of the things that I miss so much across both administrations since Obama, but especially with this administration, is just the class and decency. Just being a decent human being that doesn't feel any need to get up and disparage anybody, to call anybody a name, to make light of things that are heavy in people's lives, to yell that something is fake news that's completely factual and can be proven easily, to speak in complete and full sentences.
Right.
Just being able to speak in sentences that you could comprehend, and to have you want a coherent, full, and complete thought that starts at a place and ends at a place that makes sense from where it started.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To see a first lady and a president that actually love each other, to see them dote on one another, and to hug and kiss each other, and know that is real and that's not staged or fake. Just literally class and decency. I miss the decency of the office. I feel like between all as much as we cuss and carry on, I actually don't appreciate hearing that coming from the White House or seeing that posted on the White House communications page. That
right, there's a place for
chunky motherfucker that looks like doggone Jar Jar, not Jar Jar Binks. He looks like, what's that big old slob thing that was on Star Wars?
Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt motherfucker looking thing.
Stephen Chung is who you're talking about.
Yes, that thing, that motherfucker. He posts just nonsense. If he doesn't like what you say, he'll tell you to shut the fuck up and stuff like that. Just as much as we cuss and carry on this show, that's not something I want to see posted from the White House communications director. I don't want to see the president up in the middle of the night, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, posting ridiculous AI generated slop memes and just, you know what I'm saying? I just
adults have not been in the room for a minute, and you can tell. I mean,
yes, Jabba the Hutt. That Jabba the Hutt look. Have you seen him? He looks like That
He's
nose
a
ain't
dude that needs
having
to keep his mouth shut.
forehead to shoulder, motherfucker. Anyway, there's that, and just just having decency, just being able to look at the president and be like, that's the president of the United States. Like, yeah, that's my president. And just being able to be proud of your country and proud of when your president goes abroad and he's celebrated just as much abroad as he is here in the United States, and not having people out in the streets with big old inflatable naked diaper inflatables of your president and signs protesting you all over the world, not just the United States, but all over the fucking world. Everywhere you go, it's somebody protesting you. And I miss the decency. It was such a classy event, hopeful, light, bright, seeing all the people that are there to support him. Imagine having every living president come out for your event, because that's how much they honor you. That's how much they respect you. That's how much they appreciate the man that you are, and the role that you held in this country, and how you represented this country while you're in office. And to have all those people come out there, and of course, the musical guests and all that. We got, on one hand, we got over here most of the guest council, but you got Milli Vanilli and Vanilla Ice. And then over here, you got Bruce Springsteen, U2, Jennifer Hudson, John Legend, Common, The Roots. It's just, the contrast is wild. And I already know that Coochie Neck Mick Hankles is going to be up tonight vomiting on True Social. Because he can't stand it. The Obamas live rent free in these people's heads. Speaking of living rent free, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but that motherfucker at the UFC fight that said Obama is man. Now you're in probably the pinnacle of your career. You're on one of the biggest stages you've ever. I mean, how much bigger can it get than doing a fight on the front lawn of the White House, right? Streaming an international streaming out to millions, and this is your shining moment. And in your shining moment, I think he first mentioned Jesus or something.
Yeah, he just, thank you, Jesus, or Jesus is my savior, or something, some stock phrase.
Some whatever they do. And then out the other side of his raggedy ass mouth, he says, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America? And I'm like, motherfucker, that's what's on your mind? That's what's on your mind. Michelle motherfucking Obama is on your mind at the biggest moment with all these spotlights. You're on the biggest platform, the biggest stage of your life, and Michelle Obama is on your mind. That says more about you than it does about her.
Rent fucking free.
Rent free. They live rent free in these people's heads. Rent free. I promise you, Trump is going to be up tonight vomiting on True Social about the Obama Presidential Center opening, because he could never. He could never. You could. Melania is not finna get up and say none of that stuff that Michelle said about Barack. And if she do, she ain't gonna mean a goddamn word of it. And she sure in the hell ain't gonna embrace you and kiss your ass afterward, because she can't stand to be touched by your ass.
Right.
She can't stand your ass any more than the rest of us. But that's the contract that she has with you, and she's abiding by it.
Yeah. And Michelle Obama is brilliant. I mean, just look at the woman's resume. She's stunningly beautiful. She's accomplished in every conceivable way that you can measure accomplishment in our society.
In every way. Every way. Whether you're dealing with the patriarchy or the matriarchy. In every way. She's accomplished in education, in humanities, and in the household. She's married with 2 children, 1 baby daddy, 1 husband.
Right. And just living rent free in these motherfuckers' heads. But one thing that's going to be hilarious is during the contrast. This goes back to the contrast between Obama and Trump. Obama goes to a sporting event and the whole fucking thing erupts and everybody's applauding. The World Cup is happening, and y'all know I love football, but I am boycotting the World Cup this time because fuck Trump and fuck Infantino, the president of FIFA. But I have been seeing Australians and British footy fanatics And some of the songs that they're singing, and I love me some British football. The Aussies are running around in cities singing, the Aussie boys are on a bender, Donald Trump's a sex offender.
Yes.
And the Brits are singing, he's fat with piles, he's in the Epstein files, Trump's a cunt, during matches. So Charlotte Clymer, who has been on this show in the early days of the show, she is a transgender political analyst and writer in DC. She was like, "Dear Australians, please don't sing those songs during the match because Americans won't like to join in with you." so apparently tonight is when Australia plays the United States in the World Cup. So I look forward to hearing some of the chanting about the predator in chief, who is definitely all over the Epstein files.
Yes, Republican Senator Rick Scott condemned the foreign fans who have been captured on video, disparaging Trump, and he basically said, if you come to our country, you ought to be respectful of our president. No, the president ought to be respectful of our country. How about that?
Right. Yeah.
How about the president stop disrespecting our country? How about the president stop disrespecting that office? How about the president stop using that office to pad his pockets and his family's pockets and his boys and his cronies? And how about the president stop, screwing over this entire country between the tariffs and the war and all the underhanded shady deals and insider trading? How about the president respect this country?
Right. Yeah.
How about the president respect our democracy? And stop acting like every election that he loses is rigged and everyone that he doesn't lose is perfect, because he always has to win or else it's rigged. How about the president stop trying to dismantle our democracy piece by piece?
Yeah. And if y'all don't know who Rick Scott is, just go Google him. He looks like a comic book fucking villain, and he defrauded Medicare for millions and millions of dollars, if I'm not mistaken. Before we get to the fundamentalist fuckwittery this week, I want to bring up something that happened on social media this week when I was talking about the racist, misogynist, xenophobic Southern Baptist president of Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, Al Mohler, and a guy said that I was defaming Al Mohler, and so I responded that I said what I said because it's fucking true, and this clown jumped in with this. There is no need to use language like that. You clearly need to read James about taming the tongue. My dude, I don't give a fiddler's fart if you like my language or not. But as I responded, for those who can't see what's on the screen, I'm a theologian who cusses a lot, especially when talking about people like Al Mohler, who support white supremacy, misogyny, xenophobia, and bigotry towards the LGBTQIA community. I don't think Jesus gives a shit about my vocabulary, but he does care about overturning systems of oppression. Where are we at? Don't come on the podcast. Don't come on my fucking social media talking about you don't like my vocabulary. Keep scrolling. Find something else to watch.
You don't have to listen. You don't have to watch.
And there was a time
there was a time, and probably you too, right, where we probably both were in the place where he's at, where profanity offended you, especially if someone was talking about the Lord and also cussing. That time is long gone, because one thing that I understand is that that Bible, that scripture where it's talking about a curse is not talking about language at all. It's certainly the fuck not talking about modern American English. No. It wasn't even talking about language at all.
Yeah, it was talking about blessing and cursing people, like a pox on your houses and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And things so, like
that. People are like, well, it's unbecoming. It's whatever it is. If you don't like it, keep scrolling. Though you don't go into stores you don't like buying from. You ain't got to watch a podcast or listen to, or watch a stream or listen to a podcast you don't want to hear from. Find something else to do and mind the business that pays you. I promise you, it ain't gonna hurt nobody's feelings over here.
Right. But I think Jesus cares a lot more about using language that dehumanizes, language that's racist, language that's xenophobic and misogynist than he does about me saying fuck. And with that, we're going to get to the fundamentalist fuckwittery this week. And I just want to shout out a derisive thank you to Matt DiStefano, because before I heard that Matt was going to be debating this jackass, I had never heard of him. And now you have to know too, because I decided that Andrew Wilson, this clown, is going to be the representative of fundamentalist fuckwittery this week. And I'd never heard of this guy until Matt said he's going to debate him, which, more power to you, buddy, because I went to this guy's Twitter feed today to find out something about him, and I watched him on an episode of Piers Morgan with our good friend John Fugelsang, and watched his debate style. And then I watched a clip that I'm going to show a little bit, where he just loses his ever-loving mind when somebody that he's debating, a woman, called him out for the hypocrisy that he was displaying. Now, apparently this guy is an Orthodox Christian, so Eastern Orthodox, I guess. I didn't see anything that remotely looked Christian on his Twitter feed or in the way that he was talking to people. I didn't see any good debating skills. I saw a lot of fallacious arguments, straw men, moving the goalpost, and ad hominem attacks. But I can't show it to you because I don't know how to do it. But I'm going to read some tweets from Andrew Wilson of the Crucible podcast. He goes by the PaleoCon, Paleo Christ Con on Twitter. So if you want to go see some of this stuff that I'm about to read off. So one of the memes that he posted on this website, it's a picture of a guy wearing a t-shirt and spraying like pepper spray into the face of what it says is a female pastor, and it says, "Be quiet," 1 Timothy 2:12. Now, and it says that the Apostle Paul is the one doing this. So, first of all, the scholarly consensus, unless you are a conservative fundamentalist or an evangelical, is that Paul didn't write 1 Timothy. The historical consensus is that in the early church, there were women in leadership. And there's a guy, Justo Gonzalez, who is a historian and kind of pioneer in the field of historical theology. And he notes in the History of Christianity, Volume 1, that Pliny the Younger tortured 2 Christian ministers during his time as governor of whatever region of the Roman Empire, because he was trying to figure out what's the deal with all these Christians. And then and it turns out that the 2 Christian ministers that he tortured and I think had killed were women ministers. And then he talks about later in the book how in Gnostic circles they have this idea that the body doesn't matter. And so in Gnostic circles, women and men, they didn't think the body mattered, so it didn't matter what your gender was if you were going to be spreading the ideas of Gnosticism. And Justo Gonzalez hypothesizes that this might be why in the 2nd century, which is when Timothy was written and when the church started to push back against women in ministry, that it may have been because they were pushing back against Gnostic ideas, and so they reverted back to hyper-patriarchy and androcratic men-only kind of leadership. So Paul didn't write that shit, and as we have talked about on this show ad fucking infinitum, women are called to be pastors, preachers. Even Paul says in 1 Corinthians 11 that women are praying and prophesying in the church, and in his authentic writings, he affirms women in leadership. And again, if you've ever read any of the gospel narratives of the resurrection, there were no people with dangly bits at the tomb first. They were all women. Depending on which gospel narrative you read, there was one or more women. And Mary Magdalene, I think, is the consistent Mary that goes. So there's that. But now I'm going to read you some of this clown's tweets. Content warning. This man is hyper misogynistic. He is hyper bigoted towards the LGBTQ plus community. His views in no way, shape, form, or fashion represent anything that I believe. So with that said, on August 4th, 2024, this man is a Trump supporter, keep it in mind. Having a whore become president seems to fit with the times. Donald Trump is a self-admitted sex offender. If you don't believe me, go look at what he said on the Howard Stern show when he's sitting there next to Ivanka, and Howard Stern says, well, you're a sex predator. And Trump just starts to giggle, and Ivanka starts to giggle, and Trump goes, yeah. Or go listen to the Access Hollywood tapes if you haven't heard those yet, because that's sexual assault. May 19th, 2025, Andrew Wilson states, I live in a man's body. It will be impossible for you libs to ever convince me a man attracted to another man's butthole isn't mentally ill. More misogyny. Women say duty sex is bad. I agree. Leave her instead. No woman will ever be able to make you a compelling argument for a man to stay in a sexless marriage. You don't have to be miserable just because she says you do. Women don't owe you shit. Even if you're married, if you're not having sex, y'all need to go find a therapist and figure out maybe you're being a cunt and she doesn't want to have sex with you. Pull your head out your ass. The truth is, he says on May 20th, 2025, an older woman can have a laundry list of accomplishments and be outcompeted by a 20-year-old hot Taco Bell employee in the marriage market. That's why they are against age gap relationships. They only want to protect their prospects. Now, what that statement says to me is, I want a hot, compliant, uneducated 20-year-old that I can mold and bend to my will, a la David Murdstone in the classic literature novel by Charles Dickens, David Copperfield. Mr. Murdstone was a brutal man who shaped and formed David's mother in the novel to the point that she died because of his controlling brutality. And that's what it sounds like he wants. And to say that they're just trying to protect their prospects is horseshit. They're choosing the bear, motherfucker, because of people like you. And somehow this clown is married, and I'm wondering what the gap in age is and whatnot. But we'll be talking about his marriage in a minute. On September 10th, 2025, this is the day of the murder of Charlie Kirk, who did not deserve to be murdered despite his racist views. He did not deserve to be murdered. Charlie is a normal guy. Not even that controversial in his takes. And these fucks shot him just like they shot Trump, because he built something and an infrastructure which reached millions. It's time to call this what it is coming, a war. Now, remember, folks,
fundamentalists, they always want a war.
Right? They want a civil war. But remember, folks, if you didn't see Charlie Kirk's racism, you don't see yours either. And Charlie Kirk was a terrible debater. He engaged in sophistry. He deflected. He edited the things so that it made it look like, and he was going for gotcha viral moments. But he was a racist. He was a misogynist, and he was an uneducated Christo-fascist clown who supported the sexual predator. And he was a grifter who made millions on his straw man arguments and ridiculous demands and all of the things that he was doing. And this one is so wildly misogynist and so awful that I just want to warn you before I say it. On October 4th, 2024, Andrew Wilson said, "The amount of ugly women who think men want to rape them is incredible." Now, this man has clearly never listened to a victim's story. He probably doesn't think that rape happens all that often, or he probably thinks that women were asking for it, or something like that. Women have been raped regardless of what they look like, regardless of what they're wearing, regardless of where they were, regardless of whether they were sober or drunk. They have been raped because men are fucking rapists. End of the fucking discussion. This guy is so vile. I mean, this is just scraping the surface. I had a really hard time, and again, thank you, Matt. Dick. I love you, Matt. I really do. But it was really hard to listen to what this guy had to say, because he immediately gets vulgar and goes on the attack. And he likes to say that women can't debate for shit. I read a Politico article about he's got a debate school for these, all these debate me bros that are out there. I won't debate Ken Ham because I won't debate a flat earther. I might respond to some things on social media or whatever, but I'm not going to sit down to a debate with Ken Ham, who's convinced that Genesis is science and history and literally true, because what's the point? But people are debating this guy. And so this young woman, who is apparently gay, I don't know who she is. I don't know that I've ever seen her before. Andrew Wilson is a Christo-fascist who promotes traditional marriage, traditional family values, and all of that kind of stuff. And she calls him out on it after he goes on a premeditated ad hominem attack of her. And so that's what we're going to watch here, is Andrew Wilson attacking a woman for telling the truth to his face, and wow, more power to her.
I'll try to rephrase this. I'm going to reframe, and I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know. But the reason is not because I'm not a great orator, or I don't make good points, or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just think, honestly, you're too fucking stupid to understand them.
So, Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
you
lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What does that
You're
mean?
a fucking dyke. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
He couldn't handle it.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did
daddies?
I just say, dyke?
Your wife with the 3 baby
I'm sorry,
daddies?
dyke. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
Do the men that you try to...
Do the women that you try
show
to...
your hatred against...
the women that you try
convince them
to...
that they shouldn't...
Charlie, did I bring...
Women? Do they know
Charlie,
that
did
your
I bring
wife
your
is 5
family?
years older?
Did I bring any of your
You
family
called me
into
fucking
anything?
stupid.
Did I
You
say
called
anything
me
about
fucking
your
stupid.
family being stupid, Charlie?
You could.
It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed, and you know that the traditional values that you try to sell people on are bullshit, because
Let's
you
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
Chuck, let's go through it.
You are not a traditional
Let's
man.
go through it, Chuck. Tell me what I'm doing which is immoral.
He couldn't handle it. Oh my gosh.
Handle it. Yeah.
He couldn't handle it. She called him on his shit, and he lost his shit.
I mean, immediately.
The host was like, "Oh my god!" Did you see how he was looking at him like?
And how calmly she responded to him.
And she didn't get like her tone didn't change. She didn't
Right.
get ruffled or nothing. She just flipped that little switch and then just watched him blow up.
And did you notice that when he started this, I'm going to rephrase this little mini monologue, that he had it written down that this was his gotcha moment. You're too fucking stupid to understand what I'm saying. Look,
now,
dude,
how do you get offended so quick when you literally just called this person a stupid bitch or whatever he was going on about?
Yeah.
And you got offended in like 0.5 seconds. Like if she didn't even get 5 words out, your wife got 3 baby daddies. That was it. He was he was cooked after that. He couldn't do nothing but come back with he wanted to get up and do something to her.
Right. Because he's a vile misogynist and he is wildly hateful towards LGBTQ plus people. I watched him talking to John Fugelsang on the Piers Morgan show. And he repeatedly interrupted John, and John sat there stoic and goes, "Look, man, you've interrupted me multiple times now. Look, man, you keep calling me names." He goes, "Hit me on the other cheek. I can take it." John just stayed level. But when he said, "Tell me chapter and verse, one teaching that MAGA of Jesus, that MAGA fights for." Just one. Well, what did Andrew Wilson do? He deflected, and instead of talking about something from the Bible, which he says he's a Christian apologist and that he's a Christian nationalist, he started making a political talking point about right-wing hating of immigrants and saying, well, if you want to take care of the poor, then you should close the border because the immigrants are coming here and making it harder for the poor. Well, the thing is, there were no concepts of borders in the ancient Near East. So let's just put that to the side. They didn't have lines on maps the way that we do in the day of Jesus. And Jesus didn't make a qualification except to say that when a stranger is in your land, you should fucking take care of them without reservation. So he didn't answer the question because he couldn't answer the question. And I only watched some of it because, again, I have such a hard time dealing with disingenuous, narcissistic, abusive assholes like this guy, Andrew Wilson. And I don't know if I'm ever going to forgive Matt for making me look this jackass up. And again, I love you, Matt, but damn it, dude. So for all of those reasons,
I'm glad, because we need to be informed of who these folks are, who these clowns
he's got apparently hundreds of thousands of followers on different social media platforms. He was defending Andrew Tate, who's been credibly accused of multiple instances of rape, and saying that's not what was happening. This guy he comes across, well, he used to call himself Big Papa Fascist or something like that. And fascism is not meant to be debated. It's meant to be eradicated. Fascism is an ideology that shouldn't exist. It's anti-Christ. It's anti-secular humanism. It's anti-anything. There's no good that comes from it. So Andrew Wilson, if you're a person who is listening to this guy and thinking, wow, he really torched the libs, seek therapy and also an education, because his debating style is attack like a rabid dog and use ad hominem attacks and pretend like he's winning everything to own the libs. And for all of those reasons, Andrew Wilson, who, again, in all of the things that I saw from him today, never mentioned Jesus once, but apparently he's a Christian nationalist who thinks that Christians should dominate culture and society and that we should preach traditional Christian moral marriage values, despite the fact that that's and look, I don't give a fiddler's fart if people get divorced. It happens. But don't be going around saying all of these things and talking about how women that are doing that are bad when
that's why he got triggered. That's why he got triggered. Because she's saying you're full of shit, dude. The stuff that you're selling to these red pill incels out here, you don't even buy it yourself. Because you're with, I think she was getting ready to say that his wife is older than him or something. And then, like, I think she was getting ready to say his wife is 5 years older than him or something like that. She was getting ready to say about his wife's age. Plus, she has 3 baby daddies. And so you married this woman. So you fell in love with this woman, or at least That's what we say. You found value in her. You saw in her someone who's worth spending the rest of your life with, building a family, continuing to build a family with. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Who cares that she has? Then I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's the fact that you are out here disparaging women in the same exact situation as your own wife was before you married her, and telling men that ain't what you want, but it's what you got. So you don't want what you got? And if it's good for you, it ain't good for nobody else. And every woman this is the thing that they say, oh, they washed up, they used up, they ran through. Bitch, your mammy is ran through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Apparently. Your mama, bitch. You talking about ran through. Look at your ass. Your ass is ran through. How many places have you been? How many licks did it take to get to the center of your ass? You know, I'm just saying. And she said one thing, and he couldn't stand it. And that's the one that's heralding Christian values. He went completely. It's like she flipped a switch, and it didn't take nothing. It didn't take nothing for her. It didn't take nothing for him to go off. Like, it's just like she pressed a button. Boop.
Yeah.
And he had his little notes, but he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for that.
he was not ready for her to
off guard.
To pull out that spotlight and go, motherfucker, look, shining it in the corner of yourself. And apparently his wife is a homeschooler and has internalized misogyny because she hates feminism and thinks it's part of the occult. I just looked that up. So, you know, Matt, God bless you for putting yourself through what's going to probably be an ordeal, because this man will not engage in good faith. And I'm all for having a discussion in good faith, but these debate me bro, Theo bro, trad wife type people are not debating in good faith. And if you can find the Piers Morgan with John Fugelsang and Andrew Wilson and some young woman whose name I did not catch, but she's apparently she sounded charismatic, like she was because she was starting to talk about, you know, demonic, you know, spiritual warfare and all that kind of stuff. You can find it on YouTube. Don't go to the Crucible channel to find it, because he wants to charge you $15 a month to watch what you can watch for free. And John did a much better job, I think, than I would have, because the people like that be pushing my buttons.
And my advice, I'm sure Matt already knows this, is to just stay cool as a cucumber, cool as the other side of the pillow. I mean, like cooler than cool, like ice cold, because for people like him, they thrive off of getting a rise out of you. They thrive off of saying the most flippant and outlandish shit that, you know what I'm saying? All that he's a narcissist. You seen, as soon as she pressed that button, he went into attack mode. And she was not phased by it. And I think the cooler she was, the more irritated he got. You know what I'm saying? The more he was going, and the less she was like, but your baby mama got 3 baby daddies though.
Right. And again, no shade, but don't be telling people that they can't be doing this, that, or the other fucking thing when you're doing it yourself. You're not even living it yourself.
You're not even. She's like, you're not a traditional man though. And so, it's, in other words, she called him on his shit. You're just full of shit. You're full of shit. Everything about it is, and it's collapsing around your ears, and you want to make me the target of your ire. Look at yourself. Look inward. Look at the man in the mirror. Anyway, Matt is going to be doing this debate on June 26th. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Central. And the topic is, should the church include LGBTQ people? Of course, you know, we over here say yes. So we're going to be, and it's not about whether the church should include. The church does include. There's nothing new about LGBTQ people. This is not a new thing. There's nothing new about any of this. There's nothing new under the sun. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I am so interested to see how is this going to turn out. And I already know, just by virtue of Matt calmly and clearly stating his points is a win, because you got somebody who's going to immediately resort to personal insults the moment he can't prove something.
Right. Right. And he's just going to try to goad Matt. And that's what he does. He tries to goad everybody into losing their cool so then he can say, look, they don't have good ideas. But he sits there smoking cigarettes and calling people, names and whatnot, and pretending that he has all of the answers. But he's just a misogynist and a racist and a bigot and a xenophobic hate monger. Who's doing it for clicks. He's probably making a lot of money, but he doesn't do anything that looks like Jesus. So, stop. Just stop pretending that you're a Christian, man. Just be a right-wing outrage agitator and leave Jesus out of it. Keep his name
in no way.
keep his name out your fucking mouth. Pretty simple. Part.
What you got for the word on the street?
Well, the word on the street this week comes from Rosemary Radford Ruther from the book Gaia and God, an eco-feminist theology of earth healing. And I chose this because of something I heard Heather Cox Richardson say earlier today. She said the regime is falling apart. The movement against Trump is getting bigger and bigger. It's growing all the time. So I want us to go to Imagination Station and listen to what Rosemary has to say in a section called Envisioning a Good Society. Let us begin by envisioning something of the goal that we seek, not in the sense of the static once-for-all future perfection, but in the sense of healthy societies that can be sustained from season to season, which are no longer building up toxicities of destruction. The vision must start with the principle of equity between men and women, between human groups living within regions, equity across human communities globally, equity between the human species and all other members of the biotic community of which we are a part. And finally, equity between generations of living things, between the needs of those alive now and those who are to come. And everything I just said would be something that would make Andrew Wilson's fucking brain melt. But that's what we need to be looking towards, because that's what the kingdom of God looks like according to that barefoot peasant, Jesus of Nazareth. So that's the word on the street. Rosemary Radford Ruther, Gaia and God. I read it in one of my directed studies in seminary on eco-theology. Check that out if you got time and inclination. And that I think that's our show, D.
That's it. Who we got coming next week? I think we got a guest. We got a lot of great guests coming up that I am very excited about too.
Yes, we have a lot of guests. I can't remember who's next week. I'm going to turn on my phone and see if I can get it to come up real quick. But we do have a guest next week, and then we've got several guests in July and one in August. It might be the knitting cult lady next week. I'm not sure if I can get my phone to work. But yeah, we got a guest next week. And then we've got guests 3 weeks in a row in July, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see.
Oh, and by the way, that debate that is happening between Matt and Andrew Wilson is going to be on Modern Day Debates on YouTube. I am so excited about this.
We have Leaving MAGA, people from the Leaving MAGA movement next week. So there are people who are leaving MAGA and they're trying to get people to leave with them. Then on July 2nd, we have Reverend Mark Sandlin. You might have seen him on TikTok. He's a progressive Christian. I think he started progressivechristianity.org. Father Joash Thomas, who wrote The Justice of Jesus. And then Daniela Mestanyek Young, the knitting cult lady. I can speak English. On July 16th. And then on July 30th, we have Reverend Gerlin Henry, an Episcopal priest up in Toronto who does a lot of activism for Palestinians. So lots of good guests coming up. on the God Squad pod. Like, subscribe, and share. We went a little long tonight. Thank you for your patience. And we will see y'all next week.
Yes, and also don't forget to catch us on John Fugelsang's Tell Me Everything on Sirius XM on Thursdays at 10 p.m. Hopefully we're going to have some great announcement to make to you about that coming up. All right. Well, until next time, love, peace, and chicken grease. We love you.